Ah, you guys. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? What's up? Let me first turn off a fan because at TalkTrack we talk in the heat. It is a survival skill, yeah. You know, when you give people comfort, sometimes they don't think properly. So you have to take away all aspects and elements of comfortability. And then after that, expect people to operate at their best versions of themselves. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good evening to you all. Welcome to yet another episode of the Talk Track. My name is Roy. I'm going to be hosting you for the evening, as per usual. The Talk Track is an independent production of the Career Junkies. It's produced, edited, sound mixed, and shot by Morris, aka Moro Moro, aka. Ha, Morris, I've run out of nicknames for you today. Karabike. Zichariyo, Baba. Zichariyo. It's just that today I'm not thinking about them properly. But the day I'm going to get for you a new one. Something. I'm not going to call you Mukono Moja. I'm not going to call you Mukono Moja again. But I'm going to get for you a new one. I'm going to consult Mama Tawana and see if we can get you a new nickname. All right. So that's Boris. Boris does a lot of hard work for us here. The Talk Track is hosted at Plot 8B, Kabula Road, the Barrow House, unofficial home of the Career Junkies. Shout out to Mama Barrow, who's in the house, always with us, every Sunday, engaging in very, very serious conversation. Also, if you would love to indulge yourself in a significant number of shots, I suggest that you visit the Barrow House every day. But mostly Fridays, Saturdays, and some Sundays. But every day is a good day, don't worry, to be at the Barrow House. Yeah, we don't own any of the rights to the music you're going to be hearing playing in the background. And the opinions presented on the Talk Track are not representative of any of the entities affiliated by or with the Talk Track, that is the Barrow House or the Career Junkies. These are opinions presented by people from their lived experiences and so should not be taken or construed as fact. However, if you do feel the need to give insight, to provide feedback, please check us out on our YouTube channel at TalkTrack UG. Feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we can always take that comment in tune and, engage in what you discuss with us. But you can also check us out on SoundCloud at Barrow House Radio. Yeah, you can also, Barrow House Radio, you'll also get the mixes from our Retro Fridays. You can get the mixes from our Q List Saturdays. And hopefully, I don't know, should we start also putting the karaoke mixes? We don't know. I'd like to send a special shout out to Arsenal fans. It's been I understand it's been a hectic weekend, but it's okay. Let me tell you, I support Manchester United. You get used to this with time. Is there a hope? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Maybe not. But you just take it and move on. Be like, ask us Manchester United fans how we've been surviving. You just ask us. We shall tell you how to move on. But don't drown your sorrows in things that you cannot afford or that are unhealthy for you. It's just sports. So, last week we talked a little bit about convenience. The aspects of convenience, what convenience is doing to us as a society, how we are living in a convenience-driven communities these days, the pros, the cons. We heard things like the erosion of resilience, to which Rowena vehemently disagreed. Yeah, we had things like our money should work for us, and things like that, right? And so clearly we had a lot to talk about, because if I hadn't stopped the conversation when I did, we were going to have that conversation for about 3 hours. Much like the conversation we had on sitting with our uncomfortable feelings and navigating those, we're going to have a part 2 today. We're going to continue a little bit with convenience. I remember last week at some point, we veered so much into discussions of excuse me, discussions of convenience in regards to technology. I think that came up a lot, but also convenience in terms of time management and time saving, right? And that was a big part of our discussion last week. But this week, I want us to focus a little bit more on how convenience might be shaping the communities that we live in, how convenience might be shaping our views, our values, our futures, and even our relationships, right? And not just, and when I say relationships, people are immediately going to start talking about their girlfriends and their boyfriends, which is okay, but your relationships with your families, your relationships with your co-workers, even your relationship with God, and how convenience is playing a role in that, how convenience is playing a role in shaping our futures, how convenience may or may not be changing our values and how we pursue or perceive certain things, and also how convenience brought me here today. I came on a border that's not convenient. It is convenient in its own way. Anyway, it's fast, it's convenient, it is, right? So just to dive into it before we run out of time, just to dive into it, my first question today for you guys is going to be, how is convenience changing not just our habits, but the way we think about life itself? It's a tough one, yeah? How is convenience changing not just our habits, but the way we think about life itself? Right? What are things that we are starting to do, or what are some values, what are some cultures that we've dropped because we live in a convenience-driven society these days? What are some things that we would not otherwise be doing if it weren't for the amount of convenience that we have now? So how is being in a convenience-driven society, how has the advent of commercialized convenience changed not just our habits, but the way we think about life?
Hello.
Hi, hi.
Um, how has convenience changed on how we think about life? I think I would look at it in Stephen's way from last week, that for convenience, there are so many things that we are now overlooking for you to just be convenient. You have seen, especially when it comes to relationships, where someone said, I would rather cry in a Benz than laugh on a bicycle. So, like, I'll give an example, like for relationships, where maybe I would date someone because they have a car, so I would easily move around. I'm just looking at the convenience that, every night when I have to go back home, I already have someone to drop me.
Passenger princess life.
Yeah, passenger princess life. Like, it has been really glorified, where it's a quality that people look for in a person. But you realize you're not even going to look at qualities that actually matter. Is this person kind? Is this person good for you? But just because they have that thing you're looking for you to be convenient. Even areas where people stay, some people be like, me, I can't date a person from such an area. It's so far from town.
Boati.
Yeah, but the roads there are bad. You see, you're already eliminated from, because it's not convenient to get to you. So I think we are looking at life like we are glorifying so many things that affect us in the long run, because we are just looking to be convenient.
What about habits? I like that you've talked about that and how we are perceiving and looking at life now. But outside of just that, what about some of the habits that are either being eroded or have been developed or eroded or developed or changed because of convenience at the moment? And Rona, you can also add to maybe what Kia said in terms of how convenience is affecting how we see life. But also some habits. Are there things that we don't do anymore? Are there things that we do more of these days? Are there things that people from back in the day would look at us doing and go, what? All because we are convenient.
My old self will look at my now self, I'll be telling her, man, you're lazy as F. Yeah. Because
Producer
I
Chogen.
am not going to go to town and look for things if they can reach me. Think about it. I'm also protecting my peace because this world out here is crazy. When she talks about, I agree with what you said, but at the same time, if I don't want to go to Ate or where because the roads are bad, people are going to come back and go soak it in garage. So it's okay. You don't have to. You kids. Someone's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because convenience in a way has also made us realize that we need to. We are valuing ourselves in a way. Because someone worked hard to make sure you can access transportation easily. So why are you refusing? You know? So I think with all of these things have come less strain in a way, or more depending on where you stand in the situation. Yeah. So the habits, now let's go to the habits. Habits in a sense of how we get to run our day to day. Yes, it is going to be a habit of mine to constantly check what work up here. Is there something I can, And so it sort of encourages consumerism, which in turn, if you think about it, where you'd have saved your money, you have bought tons of things that you may not even need. But because in your mind, you're like, oh, you mean I can have that? Like that easy? Yeah. You want to try and see and experience. So I think it's a double-edged sword for me. It is good for you, but also at the same time, it may not be quite, because you're seeking for peace. That is why we go on travels and vacations and chill with our friends in the evening, and because it's giving you that. But it's going to also come at a cost. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It comes at a cost. So I think that it is here. We've, of course, developed habits, For some people, people maybe older generations, there was a time when they said, this generation of the social media, internet. Before that, there was this generation of TV. Before that, this generation of radio. Before that, this generation of newspapers, print. Before that, there was someone saying something because it was different from the norm. However, when you get to experience it, sometimes you're like, not so bad. It's okay. I can indulge, in all of these things. Though sometimes we're stubborn. Because if I'm comfortable and used to something, what are you saying? It has to change, So, but like everything else, so this is what happens. Over time, habits and traits will change to suit the current trends or what is going on, yeah? So you're going to have a lot of, for example, people now today, and how they look at life. For example, I will be very, very, very moved, or I will end up looking at life a certain way because everyone, even if my opinion was different, and I just go through TikTok, like 3 people are saying, I'm like, wait, I was supposed to react like this, but hold up, maybe I'm supposed to be on this side. Yeah? So we sort of don't have a mind of our own. It is like there is a thing controlling us. We are, those movies we used to watch, E.T., when we used to think robots are going to take over the world. But here we are. I think we are zombies if you think about it.
Don't
so
scare
something
us.
is controlling us. The way we do our things, we are much more laid back, or someone will call it lazy. We don't want to really try sometimes because why? I can go and check online and find out what does this habit, when someone says this, what does it mean? I'm not even going to try and think about it myself. I am going to listen to everyone that is telling me no, but because it was high-pitched.
Yeah.
So we don't have independent minds. We don't have minds of our own. Someone will say we are lazy. Someone will say we are laid back, And another person will tell you, actually, no, people are having to work way, way harder to access these things because we want that luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is why everyone is trying to do something, because they want to be a part of whatever is going on currently.
Yeah, you have a 9 to 5, then you have a side hustle, then you have a side hustle of a side hustle, then you're doing something illegal, that's chilling on the Mutukula border, clearing and forwarding. But yeah, I like that you brought up the concept, especially of being a little bit laid back and the convenience, creating that perception that we're a bit more laid back. Because now I want to switch a little bit. I want to pivot and we talk about convenience and how it's affecting our relationships, right? And I don't know, Vince said something last week about if I'll use my phone to schedule then the shortcut of the dildo. By the way, shout out to Vince. I really wish he was here today. He'd have some interesting insights. So the first question I would like to ask, though, in regards to convenience and relationships, do we think that because we live in a more convenient-driven society, has that made relationships more disposable? Right? Mikey, have relationships become more disposable now because of convenience?
Yes. First of all, anytime I go online, there are free shrinks. People, what's the other name for them? It's free online. You don't have to get it. Yes. Yeah. You don't have to go to a therapist and pay money and what. It's better free on the internet. Now remember, these people are also using their personal experiences to tell you what it should be like, or if it is like this is how it's going to be like. So basically, I'm not going to take time and think to myself, how do I want this to go? I am going to go on social media, find someone who has an opinion about the matter. You've had 3 things guys don't like. 5 things.
How to make her miss you.
How to know that is cheating. How to know that is cheating. Even the thought alone is cheating. So, and you've seen the way, like, responses to some of these things as well. So we end up jumping into what seems convenient or comfortable for us. Yeah. So I will scroll through, but something is going to feel like, okay, this makes sense to me, and you go with that. But I've not sat as an individual to think about this relationship. What does it mean to me? How has it been going for me? Do I want to stay? Do I want to leave? Reason ABC that has actually happened to me. Not because someone on social media, I know, yeah, sometimes we share experiences, but to fully respond based on what someone has said online, that when you think it is happening, so you begin to say, I thought it. So that means this guy is doing. So you begin to see these things as the reality of them. Yeah. Because this information that is not sieved, we used to say you have a gatekeeper in journalism or what? Yeah. We don't have any of those anymore. There's community journalism, if that's what we can call it. So now, every information not filtered is out there freely, willingly, and in plenty. So how it comes back to the relationships is that it becomes way more fragile if you're going to listen to 10 people in a day, you're scrolling. And these days the algorithm, when you click a like or something, they bring you that similar content.
This actually, these days it's actually a bit scary because sometimes you don't even have to click. I've noticed sometimes when I think about things and then I go to my YouTube algorithm or my TikTok and they're showing me those same things. I'm like, how? Guys, the bots are reading our minds. So yeah, has convenience made relationships more disposable?
Disposable is such a big word, but I want to put a disclaimer. Please, I'm not attacking anyone. But the way I see relationships now, that we want convenience, but we want a convenience at an expense of another person. Like we want another person to provide the convenience for us. That's why I say we have so many standards when we come into these relationships, but we are putting all these standards on someone. We have seen you're going into a relationship, but you have a lot of expectations of things from this person that you can't even do for yourself. Like they have a list. If he can't do this for you, it's not for you. If he can't buy you a car, it's not for you. like there are so many expectations. That's why like it has eroded our relationships so much that we have you've realized there's so many people right now, when you ask them, okay, are you in a relationship, they're like, no, relationships are way too expensive for me right now. Why we have become a little bit materialistic, where we put a lot of expectations even on your age mates. With this economy, like that, it can take you for trips 3 times a year. But because you can take yourself and he can't take you, it's not for you. So yeah, so like I think that's how relationships are right now. And the way I see them, like TikTok. If you guys have seen Miss, I don't know if she's called Miss Sprinkle Sprinkle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Things like that.
We take advice from such people.
I think Rena was like, yes, I agree with the quarterly trips. At the end of every quarter, you must take me to Zanzibar. Come what may. If you if you can't, you're not for her.
No. But hey.
Yes, Zahara.
Okay. Well, I think I've got just in the middle of this, but I think one of the reasons why do we get into relationships? First of all, people might have options, but you go with what is convenient for you. That means that in terms of affordability, comfortability, and all that, to me, that is the whole essence of convenience, And depending on who is going for what, then you know what suits you best. Now, if you want 4 trips in a month, you will go with this particular option and leave out the other. So I think at the end of the day, let's not take it to the extreme. I wouldn't get in a relationship where I'm not comfortable, and which won't be convenient for me. So for me, convenience, to date or not to date, it depends. Am I home? Do I feel home? That's basically it.
Nice. Imelda.
I just have I just have a question. Okay, not how is it if it's convenience that you're putting all these standards out there and you're not living them? There are people who are saying, oh, I can't date a guy from here, then they go back to Bowate in a 1-room bedroom. Which convenience are you looking for if you're not?
Yeah, but now listen, Yeah, listen, me being in my 1-bedroom apartment, it may be more convenient for me than going out with someone who will not meet my standards, Let's not settle for less. Me, practically, if you know what you want, it's not that you're materialistic, but you know exactly values, ethics, the principles that you follow, then just don't settle for whoever because you just want to be somewhere. No, and don't bring down your standards. That is it.
All right. So as Rowena is going to speak, let me ask you guys a follow-up question. From everything that you've just discussed, does that mean in our convenience-driven world, are the relationships deeper, like are our connections deeper, or they're just faster?
Let me first go back. Remember, convenience means you're getting into something for maybe improvement. But when I think convenience, I'm thinking better. So if I'm in my 1-bedroom, I want to do better. Otherwise, it's going to be work. Why am I going to go there and then I start hustling? It's too much work in the relationship. It becomes draining. Then I am sick. Then I'm stressed. No. So I think convenience in itself means even that person can find someone who's convenient for them, vice versa, without you necessarily. Because see, I would want the convenience and they don't give it and they stay. I am going to make them very, very uncomfortable. They will not feel the convenience of having me around either. See, because we need to start looking at relationships differently these days. Are you happy? Because why am I there? You get? The whole point is to be happy. That means your convenience. But also, what was the one you had talked about?
In this convenience-driven world, the way we live right now, are the relationships, the connections we're creating, are they deeper or do they just happen faster?
They can be.
Okay.
They can be, because if I am where I want to be, I don't think I'll be unhappy around you. you know? Because in most cases, we've also seen by evidence that love is never enough. So it can be deeper and then it becomes shallow. You're getting it? Eventually, you get strained, you get stressed. The guy doesn't want to come back home because as soon as he arrives, yeah? And it won't even be things of I want a car what. Before you know it, you're asking at school fees, at msanyalaze, ate. Naga ngabuto mukosa munji. Ngabye mudamu ebyo. Buto ngamukosa munji. Sakuze buto weekend. So I think let us look at relationships in a sense of there is need for convenience. We are not here to get prizes for love. Because you rather be in love and in a convenient space than be in love and strain each other.
Shakib is going to instigate. Shakib, you're going to instigate. Let me hear what you're going to say.
Hi, Rowena. How are you? Okay. I'm okay. I think what you're saying is you want a lot of good for yourself, right? But you see, I will be happy and they won't be happy. How is it your problem? You understand? We are talking about convenience, right? Let me give you an example. Some of us, you are convenient of taking a cigarette. You are convenient in taking a nail, okay? That makes you happy. But again, you'll find that the person next to you is not convenient about it. So what do you do about it? You understand? That means, are you not going to be okay because they are not okay?
Yeah, but now, you guys, I think before even you get into the relationship, that's when people have time for courtship and all that. Because you get to learn each other. Can you stand each other amidst all waves and storms? Though some people, they say for better, for worse, I'm like, no, worse, I'm not going there. But for the time... for the time that you've tried to see that you can put up with this character, then that means you're comfortably able to live with that person in the same space. Now, it's like guys will be like, maybe I need somebody who can do for me matoke, kneel down and all that. Don't go on an uptown girl thinking that she'll do the same. Then look around your range. Can she deliver? So basically, I think in all senses, let's not attach being comfortable to maturity. It depends on you as an individual. So I think all of us, we are looking for convenience. That's why people break up, divorce, because at the end of the day, maybe what they expected, because all the issues that come up, our expectations versus reality. So maybe you expected something and you're not, they're not meeting your standards. Then like, no, this is the wrong space for me. Then I have to look for something else. So I think we are all looking for where we feel comfortable and convenient. All of us.
Hallelujah. I'm going after Josh has spoken, I'm going to drive the conversation now to convenience and identity, because I like how you people say individual. You know what you want. So I'm going to first ask you about convenience and identity. Well, yeah, Josh?
Okay, in my own perspective, I think, by the way, that was a very good, nice point. Convenience is very much connected to the relationship. And I have come to believe of late, there is actually nothing people consider other than the convenience in relationships. And this varies according to someone's expectations and what they really like. For example, when we come to courtship, girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse relationships, it's very much connected to the money, to the extent that now for a lady, you are going for a lady. What will only vary between this lady and the other lady might be the money. It may not be specifically the money, but of course her convenience automatically comes back to the money. So the question is, are you capable of doing this? She might want for her to give you a yes. She might want you to do for her this. then this, then she'll be like, okay, I think this guy is a prospective aspirant for that. So even the other one will will have her different kind of consideration she's going to consider. Leave alone that, we're also looking at, let's look at a relationship of a parent and a child. The child usually develops more love for the parent who is more giving most times. So this is getting so much corrupted. It's becoming like a commodity purchase. Like there are a lot of commodities in the shop and each with a price tag. So what you offer, the price tag you afford is what you get.
Yeah.
And it's quite absurd. I
Oh,
could
so
say, yeah.
how is
Unfortunately.
in this convenience-driven world? I think what we're saying is relationships have become a lot more conditional than they used to be, right?
Yeah, so
there's is no from at least going off of what Josh has said.
You guys, I don't know. To me, my small understanding and what I've learned is that love, it's something for something, right? And whether marriage or parental, you have to offer something. No one loves for nothing. You can't just wake up, even if it's a flower, it's beauty. You appreciate it. Yes. Have to appreciate it. So that is love. So basically these things of saying simanya what and this and that, my dear, you have to give in so that you can be loved back.
In my language, we have a saying. Mpanku henizongo nzitafa. Mpanku wejeji, I don't know how to say it in Uganda. That's a relationship that does not die out. Now, while we are speaking about money, that's why I'm telling you, some men may not even have money. You may even get the money. That's why you see people are different. My convenience may not even be money. But I want to be with someone, yes. Because we've seen a person who acknowledges that you're there, you exist. Some people have different goals. Because you find that at the end of the day, what are we trading in? Comfort, convenience. Now, if every day you're going to come with some, every day, never was in percentage, so I shall not enjoy it. Vice versa. There are men who will even rather be with the girl who wants those demands. He's also looking for convenience. Because what we are forgetting in relationships, as much as we are talking about money, people are investing their mental, physical, emotional selves. You get? That's why even in friendships, even in work settings, you're going to find yourself working better with someone. Why? Convenient. They are not going to hustle and bustle you around. They're going to be, maybe you feel like their energy. We're even trading energies, people. That's why you'll even walk into a place and you're like, this is a happy home. You will tell. What we are talking about in terms of investment and convenience, I don't want us to just leave it on that point. I know it's very common. Yeah. I also wanted to correct that our great-grandparents and our grandparents had higher standards. Unless you had a piece of land that comes from there to there, the father himself is the one who's saying that you must, even fathers of the sons and fathers of the daughters, everyone had their part to play.
A land as big as Ginger.
Fathers would tell their sons, if you don't have land, whose person's child are you taking to do what? Because they know, at the end of the day, even those grandchildren are theirs. You're going to go to them, telling them, Katia, do you have maize? Is it harvesting season?
All right.
Even the women were also, that's why I'm trying to say that I think the world has always been like this. Let's be honest. The only difference is that today is more cash.
Less land.
Yeah, but it has always it is more a monetary thing now because of the times. Maybe back then it was the cowrie shells. Maybe back then it was the land. Maybe back then it was how many cows. Maybe the only thing that has changed because of times, is how we are exchanging what we are calling the money or the cash or the what. And that is why you'll hear even fathers. Now let me tell you, I've seen fathers they're asking for cows.
If people should marry into my. No, okay. I
When
will not,
fathers are asking their sons-in-laws.
I will not downplay my father.
Eh? Anyway, so I think at the end of the day, convenience, I don't think it's a problem, guys. Just as you'd want to be convenient, the next person wants to be convenient. The only issue is we are shying away from it, and we end up in situations where you stress the other person, they stress you back. All of you have pressure by the age of this. Even in workspaces. That's why I keep today. I'm proud of, especially the younger generation. These Gen Zs.
Hey, I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Yeah, they are protecting their entire existence. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
You've seen this old school Marilyn Monroe when the man said, you're not, and then she answered, no, I don't want his money, I want your money. She was responding to the father-in-law. He said, I knew it. I was like, what is wrong with a girl to dream? If you had your daughter, would you want her to marry a man who cannot provide for her?
Hallelujah. Anyway. Yeah. So I know we're going to revolve around, because I like this group likes talking about relationships. By the way, I noticed that anytime I could be talking about convenience and then I push it towards relationships and we can talk for 4 hours. But producer has been saying some things. Yeah, producer today is having a good time. But thank you guys so much for that. But I like that there's been a lot of conversation surrounding what we want as people and who we are. The aspect of identity, the aspect of individuality, the aspect of uniqueness. And in a convenience-driven world, do we feel like, in your opinion, do we feel like we're losing that element of uniqueness as people? Okay, because like you've mentioned, a big part of convenience is access. And we're being exposed to a lot. We have like information overflow. And like you said, again, back to the things we're talking about, like relationships, where we get our advice from YouTube, how to make her miss you, how to get a girl in 10 days, how to do this, how to do that. And it's not just relationships, it's almost everything, right? I know people who are telling you can learn data analysis in 30 minutes. But, hey, So, because if all of us, if most of us are having access to a lot of the same things, is the aspect of uniqueness and individual identity being eroded because of convenience?
Yeah, I think we are slowly losing our identity, but it's much deeper than because of convenience. We have been exposed to a lot of information from societies that we look at as superior to us, even individuals. So everyone wants to be like them. For example, for us, the Africans, if we go back in our history that wasn't even written by other people, we were made to see our culture as inferior. That's why you have seen schools making their children talk like American. No, you're not American, you're African. But because they look at that as the standard, so we end up losing our identity, where we are just floating in air, trying to be like everyone else that we think is better than us. Because we think their life is more convenient, because the movies we watched where the white kids are so free and we thought our parents were extreme. So I think it's more about what we have been exposed to that make us look like we are less. So we try to copy something else, and at the end of it all, we are just there.
Okay, well, I think your identity is all about you. How do you feel about it? Because one, as you say, that our African culture and traditions, it was written by somebody, So what do you know about it? Is it true that what you read is what it is? But you as a person, how do you perceive the world? As a person, how do you identify yourself out there, So I think it has not yet eroded. If you hold on to the basics and you look down deep in you and you're like, whether Western or African, but this is who I am and this is what I need, I think that's when you don't just go by whatever comes your way. You hold on to that and your identity. That's why I can identify you that this is you and this is what you need. I'll not relate it to someone else because that is the uniqueness in you. So I think it has not been eroded. It's all about that. We just have to find ourselves and know who we are, then we stick to that.
Sorry, before you get into it. And I think let's also remember that convenience in itself has a lot to do with having options. Has a lot to do with, if you're talking about having options, it means you actually have some sort of freedom. And that is why we are using the word convenience. Yeah? Because at the end of the day, to me, wanting certain things doesn't mean that it's not deep. It's actually deep because I'm thinking about the things I like for so long. And I think this is something I think that's been experienced worldwide, both men and women. For so long, we stop ourselves because what will people? Because the society says, because religion says, because, because. Now, half the time, and I know it's very tricky and very hard for us to accept, especially if it's not your status quo. You're not used to it. You find it quite alien. I find people who are very open to talk about what they want, what's convenient for them. I am always proud of those people because that's the hardest thing to do. Especially in the area where we're talking about convenience but still condemning convenience. Yeah? So you're telling someone you're free to vote, but also when you vote. Or you're free to dress and express yourself, but when I express myself, yeah. So society in itself, us ourselves as human beings, we have double standards, and that is why I'm saying that it's okay. Personally, find your convenience, because guess what? It is going to be about you at the end of the day. People have died of autoimmune diseases because we are telling ourselves, if I openly say, for me, I want a guy with a car, the world is going to say, how dare you?
Gold digger.
Gold digger. But when we go back home, my father is going to say,
why?
If you don't have these many cows, if you cannot afford a life for my daughter and the children you plan to have, because there's also having them and you can't take them to school, you can't feed them. What is that?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot for us as a society, including myself and every other person, we have double standards we sort of say, find convenience, but we're saying, but end somewhere.
Yeah.
We don't want to fully, and that's why I'm proud of people. If it is not in your price range, leave. Because that person has said, I want to be comfortable. I want to sleep well at night. Even when I cry, I'm like, hey, okay. Not these things of crying. Atemu maziga. You what if you get good? They take you for pressure, neza pressure to pay.
Let's talk a little bit about I like that. After Kia has given us submission, after Kia has told us what she wants to tell us, we're going to talk a little bit about convenience and religion. Just touch on that a little bit about convenience and religion. But yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a small thing about that. Thank God you brought out the double standards. And all these standards we have, if we are talking on individual basis, trust me, the person we are has been formed by the information we have. And that's what the point I was bringing up. The information we hear will make you a certain way, will shape your standards, will shape other things you look at as convenience. Because there is someone there who is living a certain life you might not deem as convenient because that's not your exposure. So information, the importance of information is very important. You will tell yourself this. That's why I said, I'll tell myself, oh, this is my idea of love. Then I go online and the information there is so different. And then you're going to question your identity. And now your identity is going to be shaped by who do you listen to? Where do you... Even your parents, they are the first person in your life that you're going to deem superior to you. Because they brought you into the world, so they're going to tell you, no, we go to this church. That's why we as Africans, we have that You tell your mother, I'm not going to church. They're like, okay, you get outside. I want to lock the house. And then you'll have to go to that church. It's going to what? To shape how you look at life, because that's what you've been exposed to. But it reaches a certain point where you have to look into yourself as an individual. But for the majority, our standards are shaped by what we hear, what people are doing around us. So it takes a lot of courage. Because now for you might judge me for being with someone that doesn't have what you deem as convenient. But there's other things someone is looking for. My convenience, you see. They're never the same. Yeah.
All right, so let's briefly. Shakib, what do you want? Shakib wants to say something. Yeah. But after Shakib has spoken, convenience and religion, what has access in any way, shape, or form, how has that affected or influenced how we view, one, not just our relationship with the big guy, but how we view, how we perceive, how we understand religion? And has that made us more prone to, following the path of righteousness, the path to the Lord, or has that made us more averse to that? Because a lot these days we have a lot of conflicting opinions in terms of belief, right? And I think a lot of that comes down again to the information, to the stuff we've been exposed to, because it's convenient enough for us to get to it. So how is it affecting how we look at we view religion? How is it affecting how we perceive the whole essence of belief? But that will be answered after Shakib has spoken.
Okay. What I wanted to say is, convenience and individual or personal characters or what a person is, they have to move together. That's the fact. But let me just give an example for Rowena. Rowena may want a guy with a car or something, but at the end of the day, you'll go to a rich guy and you'll be disappointed. Because you may, in the world we are living in, the middle class and poor guys are more convenient than rich guys. That's why. How? Let me answer that.
Shakib, the table you're shaking has very expensive drinks.
Okay.
No, but it's okay. Please elaborate on that a little bit.
Let me elaborate. Because you see, after money, after providing, what next? Because your convenience is not only going to be with the providing, with the way you are living, okay? You may get somewhere very fancy, somewhere very special. But you will still not be convenient until you get somewhere shabby maybe. As I said, people are women, married women run from bungalows and go to border guys and go to chapati guys because they make them more. You understand? But at first, your father was telling you, I want a guy with 14 cows. I want a guy who has already built. You understand? See, sometimes we should just be careful within ourselves. Look at the person, look at the place, look at whatever you want to be convenient with. Whatever you want to be convenient with, so that Totomera, that's the fact.
You see, we have used the word convenience. It is like saying I've chosen my poison because that is the one I can handle. So if someone says my convenience is a home or a man who's going to take care of me and my children and what, they have chosen that convenience. They know what they've chosen because it's like saying, you've heard me. The moment he lays a hand on me, I'm done. Another person says, as long as he doesn't cheat. Another one will say, as long as she kneels down and what. As long as. So what we are looking at as convenience, we are not going to take everything included in the world to be convenience. What you have decided is, you may not be happy with this, but for you want to wake up without worrying about a meal tomorrow, or without worrying that your children are going to school, or without worrying that how are you going to get from point A to point B. It depends. And remember, because Sarah, we've been talking about this as we're speaking, it changes, you evolve. Do you know, because even you see there's no guarantee that middle class, I don't even want to use the word poor, no one is really poor entirely. No one, unless we're speaking monetary, unless we're using monetary, because no one is entirely poor. And this is where I'm coming in. You may not have the money, but you have another trait about you that is, yeah? So the thing is, all of these things we are talking about, by the sense of convenience, they have chosen their convenience. And you evolve, Today, even you'll say, I want a woman who's going to kneel down, remove my socks, cook matoke. Tomorrow you're like, no, tafumba kwa kumuchere. Yeah?
She smells onions.
She doesn't cook rice, matoke every day. But when you are looking for your convenience, you told her, I want someone who's going to cook for me my matoke, sagala mchere. And you evolve and change depending on so many things and situations. And in that situation, you look for convenience. Even that one, you're saying they go and look for young boys, they have looked for convenience. As human beings, we truly evolve. Yeah, we truly evolve. So people have reasons why they do things. Chairman, sir, I don't want to respond on the issue of religion because by the time we are done, people will think I am a walking zombie.
Okay, let me not make
I
it.
am a spiritual person.
Let's not make it about religion.
Can I respond to you as an African woman? Who wears wigs too, by the way, because of the situation of the world we are in.
It is okay. It is okay. But let's
I wanted to tap on that. I am a spiritual woman. But I have, as an individual, certain issues about religion. Or you get the difference I'm trying to put.
Yeah.
I am a spiritual woman, but I have issues with religion. Because one, I don't even know what my religion was before all the other religions. I don't know the current religions so far. What is the agenda? What is the what? So I believe though, yeah, there is a power beyond us, and that's why we exist. I do pray to the universe. I speak, I walk, yes. Because I may be praying to also something I don't know. You get?
Yeah.
So let's not confuse religion and faith or spirituality. And that brings me to the point you were saying, that when I make such a statement, that's why I didn't want to say, is that because we have been told that our religion is by default evil, or whatever religion it used to be, or what we used to believe in, or what. We don't even know it anymore. So, allow me to stop there.
We're talking about, okay, let's not, because we're actually running out of time. I see time is going, and yet it's just getting very interesting. But let me not limit it to religion. Let's just talk about belief, right? Let's talk about belief. Let me not limit it to religion because that might be a little, but just convenience and belief. What has convenience, or how has convenience shaped who and what we believe in these days?
Yeah, I think we believe according to what we are comfortable with, you know. Like now, I personally am a Muslim, and amidst me not portraying maybe some of the characteristics of a Muslim, like veiling and all that, but what I believe in, that is it. And I'm comfortable with that, and it's convenient for me regardless. So I think it comes down to how you feel about it.
Good evening. I wasn't going to say anything because convenience to me is not something permanent. something that comes for some minutes, then it changes to something else. I had religion first. What that was running into in my sometimes religion and convenience. Convenience has taught us many things. It has led us to question things that we are not questioning before. And now, me also as a person who would be termed as I'm spiritual, yes, I'm spiritual, and I believe in the African spirituality. Convenience has helped me so much to understand more about the African spirituality and how it is evolving. You can't imagine that at this age of convenience, there are some judges who kusamira on TikTok. Yes. Like the cultural belief. Yes. I've gotten to understand more about those powers. They go live. Yes. They go live. Also the places, because now the African spirituality and beliefs, it's unfortunate, but people who practice it's like they're hiding. You just can't come out open like the churches are of the everything. But now, me personally, convenience is bringing me to ask these questions that I was not asking. By the way, when I was born, I was born in a deep Catholic family. I was meant to be a priest. Yeah, here I am. Where I grew up, but when I go there, I'm Peter Father. Of course, I was so deep-rooted in the Catholic faith. But now I started asking these questions, and it came because of convenience, because I could go read somewhere and say, but St. Peter, then they say St. Kalori. These two are not adding, There are those gaps. Now you question, when you go to Namugongo on foot, you're going to get blessings. But what about a person who stays in Namugongo? Do they have to first come to Jinja in a car, then start trekking for them to get those blessings? It's all because of convenience that we start questioning. Then I had one thing about the first question, the identity. I don't think all ourselves, I don't think we know what our identity is. We don't, what we identify with. I think now it's a personal question because we want something, but we don't know who we are. Now that because we don't know who we are, it gets so difficult for us to understand what we want. And me, what I usually use, because sometimes you can't get convenience in one place, so you have multiple places to get different conveniences. Thank you.
All right, guys. We're about to wrap it up.
Okay, with convenience and religion, I think what convenience has brought for us is to take things that are standard and re-standardize them to fit our convenience. And that's how we get to question things the way people have done it. And also with convenience, with religion, is people are choosing what's convenient for them. So me voicing what I feel and what I believe in is not an attack on what you believe in. That's why you shouldn't be offended when someone else talks about what they believe in. Know your identity. Choose somewhere you want to stand and stand there. There's a reason why you want to belong there. There's a reason why I chose where I am and what I believe in. So if I talk about it, I will talk about it because I love it, because it brings me peace, but it's not an attack on what you feel. And the double standards come is when we start comparing, where you think you're better than me because you believe something I don't believe in. So let's choose what's convenient for you and don't push it, your convenience on your neighbor.
All right, guys. Now, so it's like three. We might end up having a part 3 of this, but time, unfortunately, I want to talk to producer. Producer should start giving people some more time, but really apologize. Okay, Sandra K will close us out.
Okay, so
what I wanted to say, we have to really have it at the back of our minds that your convenience might not be someone else's convenience. It will really help so much.
Chiwulid. Morris is saying, endeavor to create your own convenience. Ladies and gentlemen, don't look for it from producer. Producer said create your own convenience. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We're going to see how to work on the time aspect of this, because clearly the conversations are getting more and more interesting as the weeks go on, and we'll see how to work on the time aspect. But with that, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I think this is something we shall come back to over and over and over again. But I think next Sunday we shall do something a little bit lighter, so that people can laugh and tell jokes and tell us about how they fell in love at the age of 4. Josh. That being said, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. My name is Roy. I've been your host for the evening. Shout out to Morris, who has been capturing all this on camera. Check us out on our YouTube channel at TalkTrack UG. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you can, leave a comment. And we'll see you all next Sunday. Have a good night. Have a lovely week. Peace out.